So welcome back guys, and in today's video we're gonna talk about speed, slow motion, and fast forward tricks and tips and different ways here in hifilm Express 14, and we're gonna do it right now. So the first thing we're gonna need is we're going to need our clip and put it on our editor timeline. And the first way is to right click and go to speed and duration. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the clip, but since I can't play it currently because it's a bit laggy because of the screen recorder, I'll just show you the clip right here. As you can see, it's in slow motion. I chose this one so that you could see it when it speeds up, and it's easier for you to it's easier for me to show you in speed. So okay, so let's get to the tutorial part. So select this one by left clicking, and then right click on your video clip and go to speed and duration. So in here you could see speed, duration, and this link icon, and cancel and okay. So I suggest that you keep this linked. You should have a line in here, and let's say you have 100% speed, which is the actual speed of your video clip, and the duration it would also say here. So mine's 23 seconds and 27 milliseconds. So if I change that to let's say 500, it would go down to 4 seconds and 23 milliseconds. So if I press OK, it would drastically shrink. So I'll show you here what happened to the clip. So as you can see here, it's now faster, and it just ends there. So that's what happens if you increase the percentage. It would go faster. So let's say you want it to be slower. So right click, go to speed duration, and change that to, you could just erase this and go to 50. The duration would be 47 seconds, and press OK. So I'll just show you right here. So as you can see here, it's very slow compared to the actual clip. It's 50% slower. So I suggest that you don't go, if for example you have a 30 frames per second, you should not go lower than 75%, I think. Yes, I think. But if you have a higher frame rate, it would be okay if you could go a little bit higher. For example, you have a 60 frames per second, you could go as low as 50%. If you have, let's say 120, I think you could go as low as 25% speed, because that's for every, if you have 30 frames per second, then you could go as low as 25%. But if you want it to be 24 frames per second, you could go lower, I guess 20%, I guess. I'm not sure, I didn't calculate it beforehand, but it depends with your frame rate. So there you go. So for the next tutorial, for the next part, I'm just gonna talk about the duration. So let's say you don't know what speed you want, but you know that the duration should be, for example, 10 seconds exactly. So just change the duration. This is for the frames, this is for the seconds, this is for the minutes, and this is for the hour. So just press OK, and there you go. It would shrink exactly at 10 seconds, and I'll show you the played clip right here, and there you go. So as you can see, it's a bit faster. So you could do that if you don't know what speed you're going through, and you just want it to be exactly in your timeline, so, or exactly the duration. So you could also do this in photos, which you could, for example, you have multiple photos, just just drag multiple of them and right click speed and duration and just change that, for example 1 second. If you want to do a stop motion or something that you don't have you don't have access to a folder and just do it in image sequence, but you could just check this video right here. It would talk about stop motions and how to import them into your hifilm Express timeline. So let's go with the second trick, which is the rate stretch tool. So for example, in the rate stretch tool, it's just right here, the lowest one, the letter one with the inverted S, I guess, or you could just click S on your keyboard. So let's say you want it exactly 1 second, so just drag it right there. Okay, so there you go. So when I press play here, there you go. So it's going to be very, very fast. So let's say I would stretch it to 1 minute. So where's 1 minute here? So I'm just currently stretching the video, and when we press play, here it is. It's very slow and very and that's how you get the slow motion. So let's say that you don't like either of the two because you can't keyframe it. What's the point? So let's just make a composite shot and go to the temporal and go to speed. In here you could just keyframe here from 0 to going to 1 second. I could just put a 5 here, and then I could just drag it right here, and in here I could just add a keyframe and make this into 1, and I'll show you right here. So this is the effect of the keyframe. The keyframe is for the purpose of the keyframe is for your animation style. So you could do this in your vlogs or something, which is actually pretty nice. But then the problem with the speed, my version of hifilm Express 14 is a bit buggy. I'm not sure. I'm just going to export it and I'm just going to check it out later. But for now, I think it's okay. And this is what it looks like. So hey there, post-production me here. So as you can see, this is me post-production, and I just want to clarify things with you. So when you go to effects, search for, and you go to search, you go to temporal and you get speed, and then you drag it into your clip. So you could put keyframes, of course. So 1, which means 1 meaning the normal speed, more than 1, which means more than 1 that is positive, means it's going to be a lot faster. Going to 0, which means it would be a static shot, it won't move. And going to negative numbers, it would make it in reverse. So -1 would be in normal speed but just backwards, and negative numbers that are -2 or more or less would go to a faster reverse in the video, which is actually nice. So here's a chart just to show you all. It would be easier for me to show you the chart rather than just saying it. So that's just it from post-production. So there you go. So have fun. I hope you learned something. Like this video if it helped you or you learned something. Comment down below on what you think, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, don't be shy to comment down below. Probably I could feature you in the next video for the comment. Subscribe to my channel, and I would hope to see you in the next video. Bye.